Hi, and welcome to another episode of Glam Up with Katrina. Well, today I'm really excited to have a very old friend with me, and we're going to be talking all about hair. His name is Mark Birch, and he's a trichologist. And I met him way back in the day, 26 years ago, when I first came to Dubai, where people didn't really even know what the name trichologist meant. So, Mark, welcome.
Welcome, Katrina. Thank you very much for inviting me to your podcast.
You're very welcome. It's great to see you.
Nice to see you.
Let's tell the viewers who you are and what you do.
Well, basically, I'm a trichologist, somebody who studies the science of hair and scalp. I mean, there are many different types of scalp disorders. There's hundreds, and there's many different types of hair loss, alopecia, medical terms, and there's lots of different types of hair conditions. So I've studied all the science of the hair, the scalp diseases and things like that. So this is what I've been doing the last 41 years.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I met you, you even had your own shampoo, conditioner, hair mask. And I have to say, I always raved on about your products, and they really, really were miles ahead of anything that you could buy in the shop. I mean, the texture of your hair, the way it made the hair feel, you could really feel that protein and the strength and the shine that it gives your hair. And I know that recently you've brought out a whole new range of products, and we're going to go through them one by one. So, I mean, hair loss is a big problem in the UAE.
It's a huge problem in the UAE. I mean, people do talk a lot about it's a beautiful cocktail for people to lose their hair. Obviously,
tell us exactly why.
Well, you've got obviously the water content, which is an alkaline. It's calcium, magnesium, salt, so it's hard water. You've got the chlorine, you've got the salt content. It's 94 out of 100 at hard content, 127 basically soluble solids. The water, there's no rivers, reservoirs here. It's all desalination. There's over 70 different desalination plants in the UAE. It travels in pipes, it's stored in storage tanks, and obviously, apart from that, you're continuously in air conditioning 90% of the time, and you step out most of the year into heat and high humidity. So with that and environmental factors and stress and people's diets and everybody rushing around in Dubai, it's an unbelievable cocktail for people to lose their hair. So people have to follow a good hair care regime. It's all about taking care of the scalp to get good hair growth.
Okay, so let's talk about the scalp then, because people kind of bypass that. And I think that's where it all begins, right?
Absolutely. I mean, people don't see the scalp. So the majority of people, the scalp is not a living organism, but it is. It's very important, especially important for somebody that's losing their hair. I mean, you've got the genetic factors. 50% of all men will go bald genetically. 10% of all women will go bald. 1 in 5 lose their hair through female pattern hair loss. And then you've got the other sort of 44 main alopecias as well. So there's many types of hair loss. The majority of people are losing their hair, shouldn't be losing it. It's all about following the right hair care regime. So these are very important factors. So the number one thing really is taking care of the scalp. Every day you're producing oil, there's sweat, there's bacteria, there's dead epithelial cells, there's scalp residue. This has to be cleansed. So it all has to come off the scalp. So cleaning, shampooing is very important if you want good hair growth and good overall density and volume.
1 or 2 washes.
If you're shampooing your hair every day, you only need to shampoo it once, providing you're using a shampoo suitable for your type of scalp. And then obviously the hair is a dead cell. It should be conditioned. So obviously it's hygroscopic. You need to add moisture to the hair. It needs hydrating. So this is it. So
okay, because there's a lot of controversy about that. Some people say, you shouldn't wash your hair so much. Other people say you should wash your hair every day. But I mean, what you're saying actually does make sense.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the same thing again. We come back to it. How many times a day do you wash your face? You wash your face once, twice a day. Yeah. What's the difference between this and this? Right. The oil glands, sweat glands are twice the size in the scalp. You secrete 2 to 3 grams of sebum a day. Don't wash your face for a week and see what happens. I mean, because you can't see it, you think it doesn't exist.
Yeah, because the hair kind of looks okay.
It camouflages it, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as I say, it's you have to shower every day. What happens if you don't wash down here, it's bacteria, it's odour, it's sweat. It's exactly the same thing underneath the scalp.
And I believe that a little while ago, you grew your hair really, really, really long. We need to get a picture of that to put it up.
I did, actually. This was done for a bet because I'm 64 years now, and I was 61 at the time. And for my age, the average growth cycle, you know, you could only really grow your hair to 36 inches up to your shoulder length. And I said, I'll grow my hair halfway down my back. They said, it's impossible. But I followed a very rigid hair care regime. I was shampooing my hair every day. I was taking the supplements. I was using the TR3. And I grew my hair just under 3 years at 64 centimetres. So I had to go to a salon every month to test the length, the elasticity, the porosity, the shine, the density, and they couldn't believe how fast somebody my age could actually grow their hair. So it's all about maintenance. Maintenance is the secret. How you look after it and knowing what products to use. It's very important.
So what about diet? How important is that?
Diet is very important. Nutrition, obviously, the hair growth cycle, second fastest growth cycle in the body. But obviously, when we take in food, most of the nutrients, minerals, vitamins go to the major organs, heart, liver, lungs. So very little goes to the hair growth cycle. So obviously a very good vitamin, eating a very healthy, you know, basically diet is very important because the scalp, obviously in hair growth, needs protein. It's essential. So anybody lacking in protein, obviously iron, in zinc, they will see a deterioration, obviously in the thickness and the length of their hair.
Okay. And I mean, I know that medical conditions affect the hair. I mean, I went through a period where I was losing hair and it was because I was low in vitamin D and it was folic acid.
Folic acid, yeah.
What's the other one? And the thyroid. My thyroid was underactive.
Yeah.
And really, I was really losing hair. So let's talk about the medical conditions that affect the hair.
There's so many medical conditions that affect the hair. Most of the autoimmune conditions affect the growth cycle. Obviously, as you just said there, the thyroid, overactive, underactive thyroid affects the growth cycle of hair. It's important to be on the right amount of thyroxine prescribed by your doctor, have regular checks. Accidents, illnesses, operations, diet, you know, basically diabetes, high cholesterol, anything can disturb the growth cycle of hair. So it's very important to keep, you know, to have regular checks and keep a very good, you know, health and everything else.
So I believe that you have a solution to everything in your product line. Let's go through it one by one, yeah?
Well, you know, basically quality assurance is critical in every stage of research and development and manufacturing in the Mark Birch range of hair care products. We've spent many, many years with the products in clinics, in research, and the products wasn't for commercial use. They was only made for people with the most severest types of scalp disorders and hair loss problems. You had to have a case history by a trichologist, dermatologist, before you prescribed the products. But as I say, with the amount of hair loss today, in the last 8 years, has increased tenfold. We've tried to bring the products more out to the market so everybody can use them. The products are all raw active materials. In a lot of the products today, you know, basically if you take the surfactants, the cleansing agents, the trichlorosulfates, sodium sulfates, ALS, you know, basically lauryl sulfates, these are very harsh chemicals. There's a lot of acrylates, parabens, silicons, pearlizing agents, formaldehydes. So all of these create a lot of chemical problems on the scalp and in itself can create a lot of hair loss. There was some research done by the Miami University, by a research team, found that a lot of the shampoos was creating hair loss. Even after months afterwards and regular washing with certain shampoos, there was still a lot of deposits on the scalp creating thinning hair. So everybody wants nice hair and it's the elixir of beauty. It gives us our youth, our vitality. It's very important in religious aspects, in sexuality. It's a #1 cosmetic surgery in the world, but nobody knows how to look after it. Everybody's more educated about their skin, their teeth. But if you lose your hair, you look 10 years older.
It's true. I mean, I think there's never a truer saying than your hair is your crowning glory, right?
Glory. And it's a barometer of your health.
Yeah.
I can take 10 hairs from your head, you know, take a trichogram, I can tell you everything disease in your body. If you've been taking drugs up to 5 years ago, it's more accurate than the DNA of your fingerprints. You don't realise how important hair is.
Yeah.
They found out only a couple of years ago how Beethoven died from 4 hair strands. So, you know, it's a very important part of you. It's only when people are actually losing it, the psychological aspect, you know, the lower self-esteem, the depression it causes. I've seen people in suicide, you know, talking to people about to commit suicide on the telephone because they can't live without their hair.
I mean, my mother went through a phase. I mean, I think she was in her 70s and she was losing hair, and she made me go out and buy her a wig. And, you know, she wore this wig for a while, but the hair did come back.
Yeah.
So I think it is very related to illness and
Absolutely.
you know.
Absolutely. Well, it's one of the biggest things there with, you know, people that have just been told, you know, they've got stage 4 imminent cancer, whatever. And the first biggest thing is, I'm going to lose my hair. I mean, you've got 4 or 5 months to live. Why are you worried? It's such a major psychological factor. You know, with social media today and marketing, you know, the way we look, our lifestyle is so important to our image. I mean, let's say you take the last 6 presidents of the United States of America. You know, it's leadership, decision making. It's all about the hair.
So I like the fact that your product range is minimal. Like you don't bombard us with so many products. You've got really fundamental baseline products that really change the hair. I mean, I've been using them since you brought them back into the UAE, and I can really tell the difference.
Well, that's it. The range is less is more. When you see these products with 25, 30 ingredients, all the fragrances, the colours, the foam boosters, totally unnecessary. You know, basically, you have to know what type of scalp you've got, oily scalp, dry scalp, combination scalp. You know, the pH of your scalp is 5.5, the pH of your hair is 3.67. So you work to keep the scalp in good order, you work to keep the hair in good order, and then you get a healthy scalp and maximum volume for the hair. Obviously, it's bombarded today, as you just said, it's a minefield out there controlled by the multinationals. It's big business, so it's...
okay, so I like the fact that you've only got 2 shampoos, 1 conditioner and 1 hair mask.
Yep.
Tell us about them.
Okay, well, the R&B shampoo is a daily shampoo. It's a very mild cleansing agent. Anybody can use it. If you don't know what shampoo to use, it's an A-grade material. All of our products are vegan. They contain all the authenticity, efficacy of any product in the market. There isn't any product in the market which is such high grade.
Yeah,
so,
and I know you've done many years of research and development on these products.
Yes, that's where we've actually spent all of our time. We are hair and scalp experts. We're pioneers in this field. I have a team of experts behind me. As I said before, I was qualified in 1985. It's been a long time. I've looked at thousands and thousands of heads. I've been ambassador for 2 multinationals. I've travelled all over the world. I've not just seen, you know, certain races from Europe. I've worked in Africa. I've worked in Southeast Asia. I spent half my life in the Middle East, obviously Europe as well. So I'm well versed on all the different types of scalp diseases and the hair loss problems. So,
is there anything that can't be treated? If
you've got scar tissue, if you've lost your hair for 20 years or so and you've got bald scalp, you know, this type of thing, then no. I mean, as I say, where the follicle, there's no follicle there, it becomes dystrophied. It's come away from the epidermis, it disintegrates into the dermis. No, you can't. That's only transplant time. But there's a lot of people there with thinning hair that can grow the hair. Some of the hair is semi-dormant. You could improve, obviously, the texture of the hair and the growth of the hair by improving the condition of the scalp. Build up more blood circulation, more oxygenation, more nutrient. You can stabilise the scalp. This is what people don't actually know. There's no quick fix. A lot of people rush off for hair transplants. It's the biggest cosmetic surgery in the world, so that's how important hair is to people, for men and for women. You think it's mainly years ago, it's just a male problem. It's not, it's a huge problem for women today. And we see so many women with thinning hair today. Menopause, adolescence, lifestyle, certain medications. Yeah, that's right. As I say, I've just did a big show in America where I spoke for 2 hours about menopausal hair and female pattern hair loss. It's a massive subject for women. So again, nobody likes to lose their hair. It's all about maintenance and looking after it and knowing what type of scalp you've got. And this is very important. I mean, we take a lot from our hair. You know, we want nice hairstyles, we want nice colour. Average woman in the mid-30s will go to the salon every 4 to 6 weeks to have her colour done, paraffin, toluene dyes, you know, hydrogen peroxides, monoglycolates. These are all very powerful chemicals. So it's, again, you've got to take care of the scalp, you've got to take care of the hair. Hair's hygroscopic. It's a dry cell. If you cut it, it doesn't bleed. So you can't keep taking. You've got to put back. Otherwise, it becomes very dry, splits, very brittle, you start to lose more hair.
So you've got the two shampoos. What's the difference?
Well, the R&B shampoo is a very mild cleansing agent. As I say, it contains raw active materials. It's a very good surfactant. Anybody can use it. You can wash your face with it, your body with it. It's very good for cleansing the scalp. It leaves the scalp in perfect pH. Children use it. The Triple Action Scalp Therapy Shampoo is more of a medical shampoo. It's an antifungal, antibacterial. It's an anti-inflammatory. That shampoo can be used by anybody, but it's a lot more stronger. Anybody with any scaly disorder like psoriasis, eczema, dermatitis, this type of thing, any scaling disorders, any greasy scalp. So this is
it was the first one I used actually by mistake. She gave it to me by mistake, and I thought, okay, no mistakes, I'll just use it anyway. Because when I was diagnosed, I was told that I had a little bit greasy scalp, but it was also a little bit of dryness. And it was funny because I would be itching, and I never really thought, really consciously stopped to think about why my scalp was itchy. And then when she told me, I realised, oh, wow.
Yeah, no, it's, as I say, it's there to take off any oil, bacteria, the sweat, especially scalp disorders of psoriasis and eczema. It contains all the raw active materials. We won't doctrinate the shampoo under no circumstance. There's no perfumes, anything. I know some people,
I will
some
say,
people have the smell.
Ladies, it is a bit Ayurvedic smelling. It's very medical smell,
Well,
and it doesn't lather up like normal shampoo. And you've got to kind of really work it into the scalp. But once you put on the conditioner, it just solves everything.
Absolutely. As I say, it's raw active material. It's an A grade. We use it on the most severest types of skin disorder. We use it on a very rare one because fish scales. There was a child.
I saw that picture. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I was sent to Salzburg. There was a baby there, 2 years old. She had something called lamella-ichthyosis, which was one of the rarest skin diseases and one of the worst skin diseases. The mother had to put the child in the bath 8 times a day and moisturise the whole body. If she didn't, it would crack, split and bleed and become very itchy. She only uses the Triple Action Scalp Therapy Shampoo now once a day for the rest of her life. You can't cure it, but you can control it. It's the same thing with psoriasis. Psoriasis, you get very bad psoriasis in the scalp. You get psoriasis on the elbows, knees, in the chest folds, all over the body. You can use the shampoo all over the body as well. It's really a treatment in a shampoo bottle, which you can wash with, which is very mild. And as I say, this has been used in the clinics for over 40 years. So that we even use it on basically scalp cancer as well and tumours. So that's how powerful it is.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a medicinal herb.
Yeah, you showed me the pictures, unbelievable transformations.
Yeah.
Hair mask.
Hair mask. Hair mask is a dynamite product. It's heavy duty. It contains all the amino acids.
I used it last night. Can you tell?
Yeah, it looks very shiny, a lot of gloss and good elasticity. No, you put that on once a week. It's heavy duty. As I say, hair's hygroscopic. It needs to be hydrated. And the hair mask contains all the natural fatty acids which the hair contains, and it contains all the amino acids, proteins of the hair. So 23 amino acids, proteins. Hair is mainly keratin. 80% of your hair is protein. So you need to put that back, and that keeps the sheen in the hair and the gloss and the elasticity. It makes the hair a lot easier to manage. So what women tend to do before they go and have their colour, parafilene, toluene dyes, semi-permanents, whatever, they tend to use the mask once a week, and then when they go back to the salon every 4 to 6 weeks to have the colour, there is basically a film, a moisturising film inside the hair, so when the colour comes in, it doesn't completely break down all the bonds in the hair. It maintains the moisture content and elasticity. The hair looks a lot nicer and the colour lasts a lot longer.
Now, you did tell me to put it on dry hair and leave it for hours or overnight.
Yeah, you've got to leave it on for a minimum of about 4 hours. Mm-hmm. The hair will absorb like a sponge.
It did. I mean, it ends up being quite dry, actually.
Yeah. It would absorb everything it needs in the hair, so you can imagine what's been lost from the hair. As I say, hair is a dead cell. If you cut it, it doesn't bleed. It needs hydrating all the time. And especially here, again, as well, because we're constantly in air condition and we're stepping out into high humidity and heat. So it's taken its toll on the hair. Here, with the water content, the hair tends to be a lot drier, a lot more brittle. So again, you need to use good conditioning agents on your hair. Most of the conditioners in the market are waxes, oils, or balsams. They're only surface active. They only go on the surface of the cuticle. They don't go into the second layer, into the cortex layer.
Okay, so that's the big difference,
That's the
right?
big difference. So you put them on, you rinse them off. Most of them goes down the sink. They're only antistatics. This, you leave in there. We have the leave-in conditioners, which is full of proteins. You don't have to rinse them off. So they take the place of a gel, of gels, plasticizers, glycols, worse is hairspray, shellac, alcohols and glues. So you've got a natural product which is keeping the hair in place. I put it in my hair every day. It looks like a wet look. So it doesn't make it looks very dry.
Yeah, and I did use the conditioner as an add-on
afterwards, yeah.
Rinsed it, and then you leave it in.
Yeah, yeah.
So the supplements, I have not tried the supplements yet, but my friend has, and she believes her eyelashes are even growing.
Yeah.
And her hairdresser yesterday told her that she had massive hair growth compared to before.
Yeah.
So I believe you have supplements and you have the collagen. So supplements, you have them for male and female. What's the difference?
Yeah, I'm not a great adversary of vitamins, but where you need to use them, they're very important. And again, we took 5 years research and development to specifically make sure that these vitamins are the most level and the highest percentages, specifically for the hair growth cycle. So, as I say, when you take foods, most of it doesn't get to the growth cycle because it's not a major organ. So we've targeted that specifically with all of the zinc, with vitamin Bs and everything else. In the female supplements, specifically for all the different types of minerals and vitamins that a female needs, obviously the zinc for the nails, obviously for the vitamin B, which is essential for hair growth. And we've done the same thing for the males as well. Especially for the males, there's a very strong DHT inhibitor in there because a lot of men are losing their hair as well. So we've got the antioxidants in there, we've got the Bs, we've got the zinc, everything else. So the highest quality. And this is what we've actually done. Then we have a collagen drink.
So let's talk about collagen, because collagen is very controversial. What do you need in a proper collagen supplement?
Well, first of all, you
liquids v powders for a start.
Liquids go straight into the bloodstream.
Okay.
You're not mixing it wrong. You're not using too much or whatever you're mixing it with, water, milk, whatever. It's going straight in the bloodstream. If you're getting a liquid form, it's been made specifically in that way. There are 28 main types of collagen. Lots of controversy with collagen. We've used the highest grade collagen for a collagen shot. Not just the collagen involved in that. We've also got the zincs and the proteins, the amino acids. There are 8 most essential amino acids which the body can't produce. They're all in the shot. So the idea again then, collagen is the foundation of the skin and also of the hair growth. 30% of protein in the body is collagen. So it's an essential part, of the body, and it's essential for the follicle. So to build up the cellular activity of the follicle, which is every 23 to 72 hours, it's very important to have a very strong follicle if you want good hair growth and maximum density for maximum volume. Okay. So the shot we actually do, people take it once a day for 30 days for a month, and then they can just take it as a maintenance every 10 shots for a month just to keep the level there in the body. 80% of dead skin weight is collagen. So, in the hypodermis, into the dermis, as you get older, the elasticity in your skin, elasticity in the scalp, it's all affected by the collagen level.
And I think they say there's 5 different collagens that should be in. Is it 5?
Well, there's 28 different types of collagens. Yeah.
And how many do you have in your product?
We've got the main collagen level, which comes from bovine. I know there's a big thing there with marine collagen and everything else, but we've actually sourced the highest grade collagen. That's why we make it specifically in Germany. It took us a long time to source this manufacturer and to buy in all these ingredients. And we can source back every single ingredient in all of our products from the batch number.
Amazing.
Yeah, well, that's where all the money's gone to. As I say, we're not really commercial people. We're all experts, we're clinicians. This is what we do. So we're only interested in the health and well-being of people's health and scalp, and obviously growing their hair.
And what is collagen going to do for the hair exactly?
Well, it's going to make the hair a lot stronger, because if you've got a good base, everything starts from the foundation. If you get the foundation right, that's the starting point for everything, because the hair has got to grow in a growth cycle. It's got to go into anagen cycle, where every 2 to 4 years it's growing. Asians every 1 to 6 years. So you've got the growth cycle, it's got to slow down. It goes into a transitional period, which is a Katrina cycle, when it grows down to about 3 to 4 weeks, where it just gradually starts to detach. And then it goes into a telogen cycle where the hair falls out and then it reverts back to anagen. So any one time you're growing 90% of your hair and you're losing 10% of your hair. That's fine. If you're losing more hair than you're growing, then you're going bald, or you're getting thinner, or your hair becomes more scanty. There's either disturbance in the body, either it's metabolic or something, or some medication you're taking, which has caused that disturbance. And normally it's 3 months prior. So something's happened normally 3 months prior before the hair starts to get thinner.
Okay. Why is it that as we get older, we start to lose our hair? Is there any specific reason for that?
Well, you've got the main sort of genetic factors which kick in. Obviously, if we go back to the beginning, we go from the cradle to the grave. If we take it from boy, when you're 12, 13, 14, all boys have got a good head of hair running around the playground. But as I said before, if you've got 3 boys there, one of them's going to go bald, and that's genetically, they're predisposed from their family. So everybody looks at the mother, father, it doesn't make any difference. It really comes from the second generation where the dominant gene comes from. X gene from mother, Y from father, 23 chromosomes from mum, 23 from dad, you're 46. Whose hair your hair looks like the most? So we go back to number 2. So there's normally somebody in there with a negative gene. So if both of them have got the negative gene, you'll end up with the worst type of hair loss, which is just a strip of hair around here, totally bald. Most men will end up with AA3, AA4, this type of. But all men will have a hairline, and hopefully the hairline will form. Your hairline is very low when you're younger, then it comes back, and hopefully that's where it will stop. If it doesn't, it starts to cut in, and then this will join this will join this, and this will come round. Women's completely different. Women don't go bald in hairline. They lose their hair through the centre of the scalp, and that, as opposed to, again, the male anagen and the dehydrated testosterone, and that will normally come in adolescence. In most cases, all women will start to lose hair during menopause. Now, that all depends how bad they lose their hair. So what I always say for women is build up a safety net before you get there. Don't wait till you get there and then the hair loss is in free fall, and then we've got to really do something, go crazy to start stabilising it. Build it up first, so when you get there, you know what's going to happen. The estrogen level's going to fall, body hormones, everything in the body's going to change, but at least you've got a safety net where we can start picking up and we can start increasing the density and the strength of the follicle.
So I know, apart from products, there are treatments that you can do, or lasers that you can work with on the hair. What do you suggest are the better ones? Lasers
are very effective if you get the right types of lasers. Obviously, and again, it's flooded in the market with all these different lasers from Southeast Asia and everywhere else. But yes, lasers are good because they lower the DHT in the scalp. They cause a vasodilation. They increase the blood circulation. They bring more minerals and oxidation to the scalp. If they're used in the right way, they're very effective. You can use the lasers. They're even more effective if you use them with certain lotions. We use a TR3 lotion, which we use underneath the laser.
Okay,
that is very effective.
I forgot about these 2 serums.
Yep.
Because you've got number 1 and number 2.
Yep.
Because I've used them as well.
Yep. They basically are part of a maintenance. Doesn't matter whether you're losing your hair or not. The most important thing, you're going through cycles. So what I always do is maintain that cycle to the optimum level, because the cycles do deteriorate. And as you get older, obviously, part of the aging process, again, the cycles slow down. So if you maintain those cycles, you keep the maximum strength of hair. As I said before, growing my hair, going back to that again, that was no by chance. I knew exactly, followed a very rigid maintenance program, which didn't take very long. Once I was cleaning my teeth in the morning, I put some drops on. When I went to bed at night, I cleaned my teeth, put some more drops on. I took the supplements twice a day, just ate as normal, and that's how fast I managed to grow my hair. So coming back to the TR3 is a scalp activator. It's a vasodilator, it brings blood circulation. It's a very strong DHT inhibitor, so it stops the DH3, the nasty one.
Do we have the product here to show?
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you just bring the products here so we can show them? Yeah. Okay, so that's the TR3 I've got, and this is your triple action scalp therapy shampoo.
That's right.
And the male supplement.
That's
so
right.
That's what they look like. Very aesthetic, very medical type packaging.
Well, that's right. That's what they are. That's how they've been scientifically formulated for that specific purpose. They're really made for the clinics. But now we're just bringing them on the open market because there was so much hair loss and scalp disorders. It's incredible. So,
and they have lots of information, very concise about how to use them on the back.
yeah. Well, they're vegan, they're cruelty-free, they're Leaping Bunny, they're made in Finland. It's got all the authenticity of any product that you could possibly think. They're the highest grade. We're trichologists, and our profession means a lot to us. And as I say, we won't work with anything that doesn't contain the right efficacy and authenticity of any product. That's the only way to work. Do it properly or don't do it at all.
What's the difference between the number 1 and the number 2?
The number 2, TR3, contains more DHT inhibitor. So it stabilises the scalp very quickly if anybody's losing their hair. Number 2 contains slightly a little bit more coenzymes, so we elevate them. But anybody losing hair, maintenance, TR3. So that's all. If somebody's been on TR3 for a long time, we can just take them off a little bit so it goes a bit of a free fall, and then we can build them back up. So you do that in certain instances. But in general, the TR3, that is the strongest one. It's a combination lotion. And it's used by men, women and children. We even use that for very severe scalp disorders, things like alopecia areata, where people get the round patch through stress, autoimmune. They put it in the patch 3 times a day. It stabilises and it very quickly grows the hair as well.
Amazing.
So we've got quite a few cases of this.
So that's the full range. Have I missed anything out?
No, that's it there. There's the mask, there's the R&B shampoo and conditioner, there's the Anagen 10, there's a triple action scalp therapy shampoo, TR3, male Anagen 10, female Anagen 10.
Okay, great. Water filters.
Okay. Well, again, we come back to the water. As I say, it's the water content here contains its chlorine, which is not a very nice chemical. As we know, there's salt content.
So many people, when they first come to live here, within the first 3 months will say, I'm losing my hair. And your hair, the water does feel very gritty. I mean, when I cannot not use a water filter now because the difference is huge.
Yeah.
Really, it's huge.
Yeah. Well, it stabilises a lot of the water. You still won't take everything out of the water, obviously, but it is better than taking obviously, it's to do with the pipe work, there's storage tanks. So, as I say, we don't take the water there's no groundwater here, rivers, reservoirs. It comes directly from desalination plants. So if you can make that water, it's very hard water. It's 95 out of 100. It's 127 from soluble contents. So it's hard water. So anywhere you can make it slightly softer, take out some of the chemical, then yes, obviously it's got to be better for you. You've got to wash of it every day. So yeah, you can't get away from that.
What about the myth of using hot water on your hair is not good, and you should always finish with cold water because that closes the follicle? Is there any...
Well, actually, like an astringent thing, like with the skin, cold water is good for the skin as well, isn't it? Vasodilation. So it's like anything else. You must always shampoo your hair with warm water because saponification of the shampoo, you want to break down the molecule content of the water. If it's too hot, you can also irritate the scalp. So warm water is quite sufficient. Use about 1 dirham of shampoo. Shampoo the scalp. Don't worry about the hair. By naturally cleaning the scalp, you will naturally clean the hair. This is another big mistake.
Big mistake.
Big mistake. So jump in the shower, wet your hair with warm water, soak your hair, 1 dirham of shampoo. Shampoo the scalp.
Oh, I use a lot more than 1 dirham.
Well, you can use slightly more, but get it on the scalp. That's the main thing. And leave it on for 5 minutes.
Yes, I do that.
These products are active material, so it's no good jumping in there, putting it on and rinsing it straight off. You've got to take oil off the scalp. You've got to take dead skin off the scalp, salt water off the scalp from sweat, scalp residue, women that be using hairspray, mousses, whatever. Pollution, sand, you've got to take it off the scalp. Leave it on. Make sure, and then very, very important is the rinsing. And then once you've left it on there for 5 minutes, once you finish washing the rest of your body, just before you're about to leave the shower, rinse, rinse, rinse. Get it all off, because that will take everything off the scalp, leaves the follicle nice and open. So now the hair can grow through the follicle. There's no toxicity in the follicle. And then basically, once you've done that, You can come out of the shower, towel dry your hair, put your drops in, put your conditioner in, and then you followed a good hair care regime. So this is it. But shampooing is very important, and most people don't know how to shampoo their hair properly. This is the other problem as well.
Yeah, I mean, I learned that a long time ago, actually, that you should focus on the scalp and not really bother. Just let the shampoo rinse through the rest of your hair.
Take care of the scalp, and the scalp will take care of the hair.
Right.
Because you can't see the scalp, you just see the hair, and everything's about the hair.
That's true.
I'm a scalp specialist. I'm not interested in the hair. The hair that's there is already a dead cell. That's going to stay there as long as you observe it, and that's going to fall out. I'm worried about the hair that's coming through, how healthy it is from the dermis, what type of hair you've got when it comes through to the epidermis, and how long that hair stays on the scalp, and what density and overall volume that increases. So this is it.
And what about split ends? Because split ends are a problem for...
Can't do anything with split end.
Cut them off.
No, once the hair is split, it's always good when you go to the hairdresser to take about half an inch off the bottom of the hair anyway. Otherwise, it will just split right up the shaft.
Right up the shaft.
You know, and this causes a lot of frizziness and a lot more brittle hair and dryness and everything else. So cut it off is the best thing. Have a good trim with your hairdresser.
But I think the mask does strengthen the hair.
Absolutely.
To stop that from happening.
That's
correct?
the fatty acids. You know, basically the hair is made up of all different cross linkages, disulfide, sulfide bonds. So these break and come away. Hair is obviously sulfur protein, so it's alpha keratin. So what you have to do, you have to put that back in the hair because it's a dead cell. You have to increase the elasticity. The hair is the strongest man-made fibre in the world. It stretches over 1.5 times its natural length. It's stronger than steel, but it's only when it's in good condition, when it's got moisture content in it. So hair is a very important substance, you know, not just for beauty aspects, everything else, aesthetically.
They say you shouldn't brush wet hair.
No, brushing wet hair, obviously you can cause damage.
It.
You can stretch it, overstretch it. You should only, you know, combing and brushing shows no purpose to the hair or scalp whatsoever. And you should only really comb the hair with a wide tooth comb. Right. And this concept comes again from many years ago, way back in the early 19th century in London, where people were scratching their hair and combing their hair all the time because there was a massive outbreak of head lice and wearing the wigs and everything else. But you should just put the hair in place and leave it. That's it. There's so many misconceptions and what we say old wives' tales or myths. Is they say, like, if you shave the head, it grows back stronger. It makes no difference. All the growth takes place underneath the scalp, in the dermis. Same thing what we do again with oiling the scalp. That creates more hair loss than any good to the scalp. It's removing oil from the scalp, not clogging the scalp. So, you know, we get lost in all these myths over times, and there's still people are still doing the same things today.
Yeah, I mean, when you explain it like that, it's pretty simple.
It is.
Actually.
Would you put oil on your face and leave it on for 2 or 3 days?
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Yeah. Would you not? You know about your skin. You know where you got dry skin, combination skin, oily skin. You know what cleansers to use, moisturisers, toners to use. You follow you got very good skin. You follow a very good skin regime. So the scalp is only basically an extension of the skin. But then most people put the most worst chemicals on their skin. You know, they're using things like, you know, zinc pyriphene, selenium sulfide, ketocorzo on their scalp. These are very harsh chemicals.
And I know that the darker hair dyes are actually supposed to be more toxic than the blonde.
Well, because you got the tars. There are a lot of them basically. You've got the coal tars there. You know, you've got paraphenylene dyes, toluene dyes. A lot of them are carcinogenics anyway. That's why you've got to have patch tests and everything else before they use. It's all about trial and error. You know, seeing what type of colour, trying to get as nearest to your own colour as possible and everything else. So, but even so, you're using these harsh chemicals on your scalp, on your hair. Some of it's getting on the scalp. This is why you have to keep the hair in very good condition, because you're going to go back and have it done again. You're not going to walk around like a zebra.
I mean, because I've always had long hair my whole life, I've actually always bought professional products.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that I understand what your products do, I realise that maybe I've spent a lot of unnecessary money on professional products that are not really professional.
You're not the only one, believe me.
So, okay, to finish then, what would be your top 3 most important tips for good hair care?
For good hair care, well, obviously, number 1 is scalp care. You know, look after your scalp. Don't overload the scalp, building up residue on the scalp. Find a nice shampoo. You've got to shampoo your hair, so get shampoo suitable for your type of scalp. As I said earlier on, that's the foundation anyway. The next thing is shampoo your hair regular. Don't get into this thing, I'll only wash it once or twice a week, and I watch all these fads on YouTube and everything else. The scalp, the hair needs washing every day. You clean your teeth every day, you know, you look after your skin every day. Why do you look after your scalp and your hair just once a week when it contains the largest amount of oil glands and sweat glands? So get into the habit of a good shampooing the hair every single day. And then hair. We all like our hair to look nice and shiny and beautiful. Get a good conditioner suitable for your type of hair, and use a hair mask at least once a week to keep the hair well hydrated.
So where can we find these amazing products?
Well, they're online. They're in Luxury Gallery in the UAE. You know, we have some online shopping, you know, channels here. So they're on our website as well.
Which we're going to put down below, and
Yep.
your Instagram hashtag.
Yes.
And that is amazing. Thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you for having me. It's very
so
nice.
many women want to know about hair and what's right and what's wrong, and I think you've answered all our questions.
Thank you
so
very much. Thank you for having
Well,
me.
thanks, guys. Thank you for another episode of Glam Up with Katrina. I hope you enjoyed that. The products will be available through me as well, and they are actually available in the UAE for all you watching. So until next time, stay safe and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.